It's October. What better month to talk about the undisputed champion of horror? This is my Stephen King collection. I have a complicated relationship with Stephen King novels. Sometimes I absolutely love them, other times I despise them. Sometimes I'm on the edge of my seat, other times I'm rolling my eyes so hard I'm afraid they're gonna get stuck that way. I mean, for Christ's sake, get to the point, Stephen. But it goes without saying that Stephen King is a master storyteller. He has over 65 books under his belt, many of them thousands of pages long, and he's sold over 400 million copies worldwide. Of those 65, I own 14, and of those 14, I've only read 6, but I'll show you all 14. First up, from 1974, we have Carrie. I have not read this, but I do plan to. As his first novel, I feel like it deserves my respect. In On Writing, a book of his I have read, he talks about writing the first handful of pages of Carrie, thinking they sucked and throwing them in the trash. His wife later retrieved those pages from the trash, read them, thought they were brilliant, and told him he'd be crazy to not finish. At which point he did finish, made a ton of money, and the rest is history. Again, I plan to read this. I don't think you can call yourself a Stephen King fan never having read Carrie. The next one I have for you is a book I have read and do love. This is The Shining. I've already talked about The Shining in a few videos, so I'm not going to say too much about it. All I'll say is that if you haven't read The Shining, you should actually watch the movie first. That way, when you do read The Shining, you, like me, can picture Jack Nicholson the whole time. It's an obvious enhancement to any story. If Jack Nicholson played Jesus Christ, I'd probably be more enticed to read the Bible. The next one I have for you is one I'm actually looking forward to tackling once and for all. I've wanted to read this for many years. This is The Stand. Widely considered his best novel, his magnum opus. Again, I really want to read this. It's so long. And I hear the show's really good too, but I want to read it first. But I mean, it's so long. I mean, we're at what, 1,200 pages? There are over 500,000 words in this book. And if I know anything about Stephen King, a good chunk of those words are describing the clouds or the trees or what have you. But I've heard nothing but good things about this book. It's certainly a goal. I'm going to dedicate a whole month to it and see what all the hype's about. Next up, from 1981, we have Cujo. Haven't read it. Plan to. I love dogs. Even vicious man-eating dogs. In fact, rescuing my own vicious man-eating dog is what inspired me to buy this book in the first place. It honestly might be the next Stephen King book I read while I drag my feet on the stand. Okay, we're still in the 80s and we have the first book of one of my favorite series of all time. This is The Gunslinger, the first book of the Dark Tower series. I was obsessed with the Dark Tower series a handful of years back. I've only read the first 3, but they're some of my favorites. This copy's pretty well beat up. I'm always on the hunt for new editions. Perhaps I'll cave and buy the whole series on Amazon one day. If you're not into traditional Stephen King, if horror's not your thing, give The Gunslinger a shot. It's worth your time. If only because it will prepare you for the second book in the Dark Tower series. This is The Drawing of the Three. This was my favorite book for a long time. Top 3 at least. It's magnificent. If Stephen King ran for president, I'd vote for him just on the strength of this book alone. And then keep that same energy for the third book in this series. This is The Wastelands. This one was really good. It was pretty hard to follow The Drawing of the Three, so that was the headspace I was in while reading this. But again, it is really good. Not as good as Drawing of the Three, though. I'm sorry. The fourth book in the Dark Tower series is Wizard and Glass. I haven't read this, and honestly, it's been so long since I've read the first 3, I'll probably have to reread them before I read this, but I do plan to do that. A lot of people say this is the best book in the series. I'll be the judge of that as soon as I get to it. It's going to be really hard to beat The Drawing of the Three. Next, we have one most people have at least heard of, but I don't know many people who've actually read it because it's huge. This is It, his second longest novel behind The Stand. I read this a handful of years ago, and I loved it. It's fun, it's scary, it's something you should read even if you aren't all that much into horror. What makes this book so good is the character development. You'll think of your friends, you'll think of your relatives. Everyone who reads this will find at least a few things relatable. Read it. It's a masterpiece. Okay, next up, we have Misery. I'll be honest, I stopped reading this one. No disrespect to Stephen King, this just didn't pull me in the way I expected it to. I got halfway through it, then I watched the movie, and I just didn't care about the characters or the plot enough to continue reading, even to see if the movie followed the plot exactly. I just couldn't care, and I have too many books to read, so that's my unpopular opinion. Misery stinks. The next 3 I haven't read, and honestly, I probably never will. There's just too many books in the world, but I found these at a library sale for a few quarters each and impulsively added them to my collection. This is Insomnia, Needful Things, and Mr. Mercedes. Hey, Stephen King, write smaller books. If you've read any of these and think I should, let me know. I honestly don't know much about any of these, but I do see Insomnia on many bookshelves, so I don't know, maybe this is worth my time. Again, let me know. But I gotta read The Stand first. The last book I have for you is one I mentioned earlier, and I've talked about it in another video. This is On Writing. I love this book. If you're a writer, you'll love this book. It's like an instruction manual on how to do the thing. It's also a fun read if you're into Stephen King lore. He talks about writing a lot of his novels, the process, the difficulties. It's a lot of fun. Okay, well, that's my Stephen King collection. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you enjoyed, and happy Halloween, you devil worshippers.